Mondays.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mom Mondays. I'm back with Nicole, and this week we are going to talk about communication. So, something we learned at our August conference was communication is a top symptom that families would like to address. A lot of our TESS superheroes have difficulties with communicating with expressive communication. So their receptive language is pretty good, but uh, some of them only speak a few words. So it's a top priority for families to kind of want the research community to figure out. So Nicole, I am so interested in hearing about your experience with the communication symptom with Meredith. If you want to share a little bit about that, that would be great.
So Meredith completely understands everything that is said to her. She does have great receptive language, but her expressive language is about 3 words. She can say okay, dada, and Aya for her brother. But she talks by signing and using a communication device. She doesn't sign ASL because it's very difficult for her with her hands and her muscle, the movement disorder. But she'll point to different things and then she'll like go like this if she wants something. We pretty much understand what she wants. She does definitely like answer yes or no questions. She can shake her head yes or no, but it's very frustrating. Communication is the most frustrating symptom for us at the moment. She wants to say a lot of things and she can't. And it's hard for her when she's trying to say something and somebody doesn't understand her. And it's difficult to not be able to know everything that's going on, especially with her being at school, to say, how was your day? Or did you eat today? I rely on her nurse, who's amazing, thankfully, to tell me what's going on, but Meredith can't tell me. So even something as simple as her ear hurts or her stomach hurts, she can't tell me those things just easily like a typical 6-year-old. So it's difficult, it's frustrating for her, for our family. Her brothers want to talk to her. It's hard.
Yeah, totally. I can relate to that. And I think many of the families can relate to that. Before we had Rowan, we were like, oh, so excited for all these like fun conversations we were going to have with our kids. And, kids say the silliest things. So we were looking forward to that. And, we're not there yet because we don't even have a way for him to communicate at this time. And yeah, I can relate that it's frustrating. I'm curious, has it always been like the most, frustrating or difficult symptom, or did you find that has changed over time as she's aged?
The only thing that has changed is that in the beginning it was seizures. She was having cluster seizures, seizing all the time, but also when that was happening, she was so young that she wasn't at an age where she would have talked anyway.
Mhm.
So talking wasn't really a thing then, it wasn't even really a thought. But as she got older and became more of an age 2 talk, the seizures started to be more controlled, and then talking became a huge thing for us. And like you said, even, thinking of all the conversations that we're not having, but even something as simple as like her saying, I love you. You look for that as a parent and it's difficult. Like she says it in her own ways and she shows it, but she can't say it.
Yeah, that's hard for sure. Now, can you talk about what you've done with Meredith over the years to foster some of that expressive communication? Like, I know she only says those 3 words, but what have you done to allow her communication to expand and to tell you what she needs? Have you stuck with like one device, or have you changed over the years? What works for her?
So we started out with a book that Rich's cousin made for her, that it was pictures in like a small little binder book, and the pictures had Velcro on them. So like for example, one of the pictures would be her cup, and she would take that off and hand it to me, and that meant she wanted something to drink. So that's how we started out in the very beginning. Then when she was in speech therapy, they started out with I think it was 4 buttons, and she would push a button and the button would say something such as I want a drink or I need to go to the bathroom. But that was so limited because it was four buttons and they said four specific things, and that was it. That was the end of it. So then we moved on to an AAC device, which is a augmentative and alternative communication. We call it her talker. It's very large and a little heavy. It's with her right now at school, but she also has the same software on an iPad at home, which is a little easier to carry around, but it is limited in the sense that it only says what it says. It has a certain vocabulary on it. It takes a little while to get to what she wants, so she has to push several buttons to find exactly what she wants, and sometimes that frustrates her. Or I have to make edits to it to make sure that things such as like her specific foods are on it so that she can tell me exactly which food she wants. So if it's not on there, then she can't say it. It's a great alternative and it's helpful, but it is also limiting. And I'll show you. This is her iPad. And
Yeah,
that's what,
I see a lot of words there.
and this is only one screen. So when you touch another word like colors, oh, sorry. See, it goes to another screen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And does she have a pretty good handle on kind of where things are now?
So in the very beginning, she used eye gaze, and she was actually really good at that because she couldn't touch with her finger. She was still working on gaining that fine motor control. So she did eye gaze for a while, but then she started touching it, and she showed her OT therapist that she really could use her finger as she got older. So now she touches the different things, and she's pretty accurate, or if she makes a mistake, she knows how to correct it.
That's great. Yeah, we're working with Rowan's speech and OT right now to get an eye gaze technology. And we chose that because, again, he cannot point currently. And I think there's like a 3-year age difference between Rowan and Meredith. Um, so he's at that stage where he can't use those fine motor skills, but we wanted the option to be able to touch it as those skills develop. So starting with the eye gaze, but hoping that we can work to a touch screen eventually. And it's really neat to see them start to use it. I mean, he doesn't have the device yet, but he just practicing with it in session has been really neat. And I don't know if he fully grasps that he's looking at the color blue when he selects the color blue, but he knows, okay, I select something on the screen and then something with this toy happens over here because we're kind of trying to show him like a cause and effect situation. And it's fascinating, how quickly these kids pick up on communication. Um, so, hopefully technology adapts over the years to make it even better, or, hopefully we find the secret to unlocking, their voice. But yeah, anything else you want to share about communication?
I am thoroughly impressed with the eye gaze as well, I will say. When Meredith first started doing it, I was like, how is she going to do this? How does she know to stare at it and make something happen? But she did it, and I was really impressed. So I know how you feel with Rowan doing it, and it's just amazing to see them be able to say something. But I'm hopeful that we will figure out that secret to the communication one day.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. And Nicole, thanks for sharing. And I'm really curious if anybody else is using different devices for communication for their SLC13A5 kiddos or TESS Superheroes or any other child with a disability. Please let us know. We're always looking to try new things or just to learn what everybody else is up to. So thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Mom Mondays, and we will see you again later.
Mondays.